welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be giving you my 1 week update on my MacBook Pro, and I just want to start off by saying that this laptop has been some of the best money that I've ever spent on myself, and just one of the most valuable and just rewarding purchases. Like, I don't know how to say it. It just brings me so much happiness, and it has done so well. It has performed better than I could have ever expected. It literally is one of the best purchases I have ever made, and I am so happy I bought it. I have so many good things to say about it. And just to start off by letting you guys know, I had the MacBook Air, and I actually still have that MacBook Air, and I'm gonna make a video on the MacBook Pro and MacBook Air, comparing the two to help you guys out, to let you know which one is best for your use and which upgrades you should get or that I recommend, and just, you know, comparing the two. And someone had asked me like, oh, do you regret buying the Air? And honestly, I don't, because from that Air I have learned to appreciate this MacBook Pro so much more than I probably would have if I just started out with this laptop. And also I can do a review for you guys, letting you know like, hey, this is what worked for me. It might work for you, might not, and this is just my experience. And so no, I don't regret buying the Air. But yeah, that's a whole nother video that you guys should definitely watch, and I want you guys to watch it if you guys are on the fence of buying a laptop. It's a big purchase. It's really important to make sure you get the right things for your use, and basically this is just a purchase that I feel like you should think hard and long for, and just really well thought out, because it's a lot of money, and your money is valuable, and so is your time, and so is your energy. So I think that with that video it'll help you guys a lot. And so just starting off with this MacBook Pro, I kind of just want to talk about it in itself and not compare it so much, because that's a whole different video like I just said. But to start off with it, I love it. Like, I literally love it. You guys know that I was looking for a laptop that could do heavy editing, multitasking, work fast. I'm using it every day, and so this laptop has really served its purpose well. And just by starting with the outside, I actually really love this space gray color. I had the gold color and I really fell in love with that one, but this space gray actually has grown on me after like a couple days. The gray color is really nice, and I also think the silver color is nice too. So whatever color that you guys choose is really just your preference. I've had all three colors in my 2015 MacBook Air, then the 2020 MacBook Air, and around the 2020 MacBook Pro. The first one was silver, second one was gold, now this one's space gray, and I love them all. They're all great colors. And then on the outside of the laptop, there's those two USB-C Thunderbolt 3 ports on the left side, and then you also have your headphone jack, which would be nice if it could be separated, one USB-C port on one side and the other on the other side, but obviously that's not just how it's made. And actually you can do that. You can actually get the 16-inch screen and have 4 USB-C Thunderbolt 3 ports, but for me it wasn't that big of a deal. For me, I can live with it being on one side. And I also just love the 13-inch screen because it's just compact and easy to use, and it's just like a perfect size for me. And so I've always had a 13-inch screen for my MacBook Pro and 2 Airs, and so that's my preference. But obviously for you, you could get the 16-inch and then have the 4 USB-C ports. And to start off with the specs, this laptop has a 13-inch screen with the i5 processor, 512 gigabytes of storage space, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And honestly, upgrading the storage space for me was important, because I knew that I would have to transfer a lot of files and downloads, and just honestly 256 gigabytes of storage space is not a lot. The only way that I could really see that working out in your favor is if you're not even using the laptop like mainly every day, or if you're not downloading a lot of stuff, or if you don't have a lot of stuff to basically store. 256 would be okay, but I really don't recommend it. I really do recommend getting at least 512 gigabytes of storage space. And so for the storage space for me, I actually have transferred a lot of stuff from my phone onto my laptop, and I have a ton of storage space left, and I have a ton of stuff on my phone, so that was really surprising. And I'm not gonna keep it all, actually. I'm gonna actually kind of filter things out. But yeah, so 512 has been really good for me. And then also for I know you guys want to talk about the, what's it called, the touch bar. Let's just talk about that. The touch bar, I really thought that I was gonna use it more than I actually did. It has a lot of uses and purpose to it. I'll put it on the screen here. There's just so many things you can do with it that it's like hard for me to name all them off right now, but it has a lot of use. And I think just the thought of having something in 2020 like be touch screen or you know, just have like the touch of a feel of anything, like that is intriguing and like really interesting to some, but it's really not what like you think you'll use it as, or at least for me. The main things that I use it for is to tell Siri to turn the brightness up, or to tell Siri to exit out of this screen, or to tell Siri to basically talking to Siri, or just adjusting things or going to a different tab. But I really haven't used it as much as I thought I would, and that's fine. I think that if you're only getting the Pro versus the Air for the touch bar, I would really consider that, and I would really just try to test out as much as you can in the store, because although it's cool, anything touchscreen is cool these days, it's really not that much of an impact on the two different laptops, and I think you'll really find yourself not using it as much as you think you would. And with the i5 processor, this processor has been way better than the i3 processor. For me, I'm able to multitask, have about 7 to 10 tabs up at a time, and also use Final Cut Pro and also listen to music all at the same time, and working really fast, and it is just the best thing ever. Like, I never have to wait, it never lags, it never pauses or freezes, and that's just been a really good thing about the i5 processor. Along with the 8 GB of RAM, those two things in combination have just helped me a lot to multitask and be able to keep up with all my work I'm doing. And then one of the first things I really noticed was how fast this laptop is. Like, sometimes I think it'll do the task before I even click the task. Like, that sounds weird, but it is so extremely fast, especially if your Wi-Fi is good. You'll definitely see the difference if you've had a MacBook Air versus this Pro, of how fast and powerful it is, and that's like one of the best things about it. I also get a lot of questions about if this laptop is going to be good for school and basically for Zoom meetings or work. Obviously our world has evolved to that, basically for work and school. And so with the webcam, I'll post a little or put up a little video of myself here. The webcam has a 720 pixel resolution, and I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's not the worst, honestly. I think for the amount of money that you are paying for this laptop, it could be better. It definitely could be better. But I mean, for the purpose of showing your face and shoulders, it does the job. So it could be better, it could be worse. I think that it's doable. You can work with it. It's not horrible. And a lot of you ask if this laptop overheats or how's the fan, and I think for overheating, that's actually when your laptop shuts down on you completely, and that has never ever happened to me with this laptop. For the fan, the only time that I actually realized it was making noise was when I was exporting a video from Final Cut Pro to YouTube. It made a small tiny noise, and it's really not that noticeable, and it's really just not a big deal. My 2015 MacBook Air, that thing sounded like a vacuum, and I told you that that thing sounded like it was gonna blow up at any moment, and it was scary. But this MacBook Pro doesn't do that, and so that's really good. That's really nice. I have no fan issues. It definitely doesn't crash on me, and that's been my experience so far for the past week. And then inside with the trackpad, keyboard, and Touch ID, with the trackpad, it's definitely bigger than the older versions, and that to me is a little annoying because I feel like you have to kind of redo things over a little bit because you have to get used to like the middle part of the actual trackpad. And so I think it is a little oversized in my opinion, but mainly I use a mouse, and so that's not a huge deal for me. And then with the Magic Keyboard, as it's called, you guys will notice that the keys are actually closer together than the actual MacBooks that were made prior years, and that just kind of makes your fingers be able to glide better and type better and faster, and I actually really love it. It's been really easy to type and just faster and more efficient. And then with the Touch ID, it's been working great. It's really fast, really easy to set up, really easy to use, just like your phone, depending on what version that you have for your iPhone. And then for the battery life, on Apple's website, it estimates about 10 hours of usage for this MacBook Pro, but honestly, I just think that Apple always like overestimates how long their products will last. And so for myself, it actually lasts about 5 to 6 hours, and that doesn't sound like a lot compared to what it's supposed to last, but I also have my brightness up, I'm multitasking with Final Cut Pro, 7 to 10 tabs up, music on, importing, exporting, using Bluetooth, and so I get why it doesn't last the full 10 hours. Like, that's totally understandable, and it really doesn't bother me that much. And so if you're not like me, who has like a whole bunch of stuff just going on, and you just have like 1 or 2 or 3 tabs up, or just focusing on just one thing and not so many things at once, I definitely think that it could, you know, reach up to 9, 10 hours maybe. But I mean, 8, 9, I think that's definitely achievable. And then if the laptop is about at 10% down, if I charge it, I notice it takes about 2 hours to fully charge at 10%. If it's actually completely dead, I'll charge it and it actually takes about 5 minutes to even like turn up again, and then from then on it takes like the 2 hours. And so yeah, there you go. 2 hours was like the average time that it takes to fully charge this laptop. And I've also not only used Final Cut Pro on this, but I've also used Canva and Lightroom, and those two things have worked really well with Final Cut Pro. Like I can do all three of those things at one time and it works very well. And this laptop, the best thing about it is the color. I feel like the color is really good, and if you're video editing or photo editing and just using this and relying on really good color, this laptop is really good for that purpose. And so those are like my main things I want to talk about. I think those are the main questions that you guys had for me as well. If there's any more questions, please leave it down below. And so in conclusion, I would recommend this laptop to literally anybody. This laptop is great if you're in school and need to do multiple things at once. It'd be great for you. And if you're video editing like me, it will be great for you. It has worked so well for me. It can multitask so well. And basically, if you just want like a reliable laptop that's strong, fast, and can handle a lot, this is a really good laptop for you. And again, if I didn't suggest already, I would highly recommend you go watch my video on a MacBook Air versus Pro. In that video, I will try my absolute best to show you guys and to teach you guys what each of the specs mean and what will be beneficial to you and your use. And so yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. If you want, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.